learned the hard way.
He still can. I'm just playing, man.
No, I don't. What's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Usni. Welcome to the OBT show. Only big time, man. As you know, I'm always with the only and the unique big time.
What do you do? Big timer, it's your boy Larry, but y'all already know we come back with a new episode. As you guys can see, we got the big brother out here today, man. We got Kwaku with us, man. He's gonna talk about everything, right? Today we're talking about mentoring, we talk about soccer, we're talking about, getting to the next level, playing soccer, everything. We're gonna talk about everything. But before we get to today's episode, please make sure you guys check up our other episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're dropping a new episode every
Wednesday, man.
You guys keep up with the content, man.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah, what's up?
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
They have to, man.
Subscribe is free.
They have to.
Today we brought you big timers, big timers.
No, you're gonna give
if you're looking for a guru, there is one here.
Here's
bro.
one right here. He's gonna drop James. Like you guys want to watch this one. You guys want to watch this one. You guys want to watch this one because we're about to hit the point. We're about to talk about how to get there, where you guys want to get, what you have to work for as a soccer player. I feel like that's important, right? I needed somebody like that when I was young. I mean, younger.
Guys, in my case, I definitely need it. Definitely need, man.
You still do.
No, I still do.
Exactly.
So here, we're gonna let him introduce himself.
Yep. So we're gonna let Kwaku introduce himself real quick. So talk a little bit about it.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to have me on.
Okay.
I'm very humbled to be on this platform. I'm a big fan of the show. Like I was telling you, I've watched Chiefs episode. I watched Logan's as well.
Man, my heart throbbing right now.
Yeah.
So do you feel the same thing right now? Man, I'm like, hold on, what's going on, man?
I'm a huge fan of the show. You guys are doing great
that.
things, and this is just the beginning. Trust me, this thing is really gonna go to that next level. So I really want you to manifest that and truly believe that. But to start, the name is Kwaku. I think I know Us from a few years back. Us is my guy, man. Anytime Us hit me up, man, whatever I'm doing, I have to drop it and come. So.
Now, guys, I'm saying this, okay? I met Kwaku the hard way because I wasn't even speaking English at the time.
Yeah.
We learned the hard way.
It's still okay. I'm just playing, man.
No, at that time, Larry was tough. Google Translate. I remember Kwaku had to help me talk to some coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk, so he had to create an email for him to talk to them, act like it was me.
Yeah.
That's how much was it, bro?
Yeah.
Man.
He would tell me some stuff. They said this. I was like, yeah, Kwaku, whatever. Just tell them whatever, bro. Whatever.
Yeah, man. So, so I think for the most part, people know me as Kwaku. As I said, when they say my name, they think, maybe soccer. But what a lot of people don't know actually is I actually started out playing American football.
What?
Yeah. And you're looking at me.
Hey, I don't know. People don't know about this.
I had no idea. So originally from Ghana.
Okay.
I came to the States at 14, 15. So when I first came here, I remember middle school, 8th grade, I believe. My parents had signed me up for soccer. But of course, growing up, we know it as football, right? Back home, we play street soccer.
Yep.
So after school, I told my teacher, hey, can you bring me to the football practice? And she brought me to the American football practice. And I remember crying my eyes out at that time, like, what is this? A few of my classmates saw me, and at the time they were playing flag football. And I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. And so one thing with me was I was always athletic, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I can do this. So the next day,
could adapt easily.
Yeah, I just went there and they said, we'll give you the ball, just go from this end to this end. And I tried it, and I guess I was very good at it. Ended up playing throughout high school. And to be honest, it's hard for me to talk about myself because for me, I think as a human being in general, it's important to always remain humble because
it's important.
No matter where you're at in life, there's somebody always ahead of you, right? But yeah, I ended up being really good at football, and I didn't know that till my coaches told me, because all conference, all state, all metro, big time received
He said what he said. He said big time.
Over
That's what I'm telling you guys.
over 100 scholarships, man. D2 offers, even some
For
D1
football,
offers.
we're not even talking about.
Yeah,
I mean,
not even.
not even college soccer,
Yeah,
like football.
Football, American football. Yeah, man.
Man.
Got offers. St. Cloud from NDSU. Pretty much all the D2 schools here in the state. Ended up signing for St. Cloud State, actually. Went there. I went for my visit and stayed with some of the guys. And I realized what they were doing. And during this time was when the CTE concussion was kind of picking up with football. And these guys were like juicing, man. They were, like poking needles and doing steroids. So I saw that, and I'm like, you know what?
I'm done with this.
I'm done with this,
I'm
man.
done with
This is no longer for me. And I'm like, let me follow my passion of soccer. And at the time, I still had a football body. Imagine still my height. You know, I'm not a big man, but I was solid, probably like 180 pounds. But I had to totally transform my body. I didn't play high school soccer, so I had no highlight. I had no resume.
Right.
So I just literally played intramural soccer at St. Cloud, started making highlight tape, and just email out to coaches, kind of like what we did with you. And because I didn't have a resume, a lot of these coaches didn't hit me up. They didn't hit me up, but
Of course.
one school gave me a chance. It's called Waldorf University. It's an NAIA school in Iowa.
Okay.
So you know what? The coach said, I see something, but I can't give you a scholarship based off of intramural
Right.
soccer video. He said, come down, let's have a workout, and then we'll go from there. So, yeah, that's what I did. I went down, had a workout, and ended up playing 3 years at
awesome.
Waldorf, and had a good career over there. So
That's nice.
that's kind of my background, with that. But
That's good to know about it, man.
So for the
I heard a lot of story about you, Kwaku, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know you like
Really?
that, but listen, this guy, if we spend one weekend beside him saying Kwaku, nah. Listen, I've been with Us Kwaku. So I think, Us looking at you like, a big brother, like a mentor, right? It's something that, of course, I would look at you the same way, right? Because Us and I, we're friends, we're the same generation, we do this together. So it's like, he told me about how the process goes. You helping a lot of young kids in the community
Yes.
and being involved in that. I feel like it's something that we need somebody like that, right?
Yeah.
We need somebody like that. So like, you after your college soccer career, right? Like, what was like your idea? You start helping young kids. Where did you come from? Like, where did you get that from?
Yeah, for me, to be honest, I was never a talented soccer player.
Okay.
But I was always athletic. And one thing I always know is hard work. You don't need talent for that, right?
Right.
You don't need talent for that. No matter who you are, that's the bare minimum. You should be able to put in the work. So for me, after college, I played 3 years at it's now USL2. At the time, it was PDL. I played in Canada, out in Cali and Colorado as well. And that experience really humbled me. I mean, I played with some ballers, some real ballers who were still pushing to make it. So I looked at it, I'm like, man, I need to remain humble because these guys are better than me. And one thing I always tell young players is, be humble with yourself. Be honest with yourself as a player, right? Some players, when they're in college, sometimes they blame the coach for not playing. And I always tell them, first of all, ask yourself, is the guy in your position, am I better than that guy? Like, do an honest assessment with yourself.
Self-assessment. Yeah.
Number two, if you and the guy is even, let's say, how are you as a student? Are you on time for practices, right? So all the little things. So if the coach is not selecting you, ask yourself these questions before you go blame the coaches. So for me, once I had that experience at that USL level, I eventually came back home. I got married. I'm old, man. I'm out dating myself.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, got
that's
married,
important,
and
man.
then I say, you know what? Let me put my playing days behind me, and let me really focus on the up and coming
Kids' talents.
Just trying to motivate them and tell them that, hey, you can't do anything without hard work. So,
but you know what's crazy? Like in high school, I remember when I met Kwaku. One day I was playing against Logan. Actually, he came to watch the game.
Yeah.
Came to watch the game. We lost that game, and I was trying to explain him. He came home, met my mom, and everything talked.
Yeah.
And after that, I remember before he left, he told me, I have no doubt you play in college. you know, you can play college, but it's like you don't focus too much on soccer. But there is so many things that come into it, and I was like, damn, I didn't know all this stuff because I barely speak English.
Right,
I was like,
right.
everything he taught me. At the time when he told me, I was like, okay, just give him advice, I take it. But when I went to college, you know, sometimes people give you advice, and then once you go to college, and the advice he gave it to you, things start hitting you. You're like, damn, it actually makes sense.
It actually makes sense. Yeah.
You know, and coach will literally tell sometimes, like I was playing, my roommate, he was left back from Croatia. I was left back too. We both competed for the same spot. We roommates. So coach would sometimes say, okay, who's gonna start this game? Because you didn't miss any class this week, and you start. And I was like, damn, Kwaku was telling me this a year ago. You see what I'm saying? Like all those stuff. So I'm like, guys, that's why when me and Larry we started doing that, I said, bro, we're in the cities, we're gonna bring Kwaku. Because everything you have to say, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying all of them are lie or no, but like I've experienced them myself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like sometimes you give tips, you give like advice to people. They're like, you're just talking. Like it happened to me sometimes. My dad or my mom tell me something, you know, keep talking.
Yeah.
But you go in life and he hate you and you're like, okay, I need more advice quickly.
No, definitely. It's something like you don't realize at the moment, right? It's just like we're young. We just want to do as we feel, right? And then we go through the motion, and then we ended up, you know, hitting our head against the wall. It's just like, whoa.
And now it's too late.
Now it can be too late sometimes, you know, but most of the time it's like, oh, what did you say again? Like, remind me that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
But here, Kwaku, what do you think is the number one problem of like our generation compared to when you look at yours? You know, because it's two different generations. Even when I talk to Momo and stuff, like you guys compared to us, it's two different. Like for myself, what I find out, even with myself personally, we're not patient. You know, for example, I want to come to the team, baller like you guys. I want to take your spot today. You know what I'm saying? But like we all know it doesn't happen like that. So like that's I think is our biggest problem. So what do you think? Like spending time with, because I know you're saying like you all, but you spend a lot of time with young guys. You know, you always with them. So what do you think when you look at them? It's like, okay, guys, if you guys can fix this, with the talent that you have, you can go to the next level.
Right.
Yeah, I think, you know, with you guys' era, I mean, social media plays a huge role in with the mindset of these players, I've realized. Everything nowadays, it's about the likes, right? So somebody may train Monday, put out a video or put it in work, and then they may not train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. But all they care about is they've put out that they're training. So in people's mind,
he's working.
So is a hard worker, right? And for them, that's enough. So I think that's a huge thing. Not buying into the whole social media thing, right? Just work in silence and let your play do the talking for you, man. I'm huge on that. So for me, any advice, that I give to young guys is not buying into the likes and I know for what you guys do, guys, the likes, everything is good for this content is good, it's great. Like everything, share it is good. But when it comes to the actual football piece, do the work in silence, man, and let your game do the talking for you. And like you said, a lot of the young guys, they want success just like that. They want to be able to walk in a team because they're talented, and a coach should just see that and just give them a spot. They don't always want to earn it, right? And I think that's also part of the problem. You can't cheat the game. You honestly cannot cheat the game.
Kwaku, when we say this though, like you can say whatever you want as a player, but once you step on that field, it will expose you.
It will expose you, 100%.
Always.
100%. And what people don't realize is sports in general, soccer, these things translate in life as well. And I've realized that playing soccer, playing sports in general, now in my career, when perhaps I have meetings at work and I get assigned certain work and everyone is complaining that this is too much, I have the mentality of, you know what, I can do this easily. And so that's what I want young guys to know, that sports, soccer in general, it translates in life.
And that's actually deep that you
No, and then like him saying that, like that actually happened to me, Kwaku. I thought soccer and life was two different mindsets. So I can go to soccer, kill it. I can go to class, just sleep. You see what I'm saying? I thought it was two different, but at one point, just like in soccer, I was able to compete and then use that mentality if everything was doing fine. But once you started getting tough, the real you in the life come there. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was like, he hit me because I'm like, damn. I actually need to change me as a person first before even like we get into the field.
Yeah.
Because like my competition in the field, I think I was competitive, but I was only competitive when it was convenient.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Until you hit the wall, and now the real you get exposed.
No, that's actually deep that he said that, because I feel like I've experienced the same thing, right? As an athlete, right? We tend to, I feel like we build more mental toughness.
Yes.
You know, and when we get to the real world where we have to compete against other people to either the professional world, I would say, it's just like, what are you complaining about, bro? Like, what?
Exactly.
Like, I can do this without, like, what are you complaining about? And I've experienced it at work.
Yes.
So it's just like, you see manager assigning work to people and they're like, he doing too much. I'm just sitting there like,
Seriously,
And
right?
I'm like, I'm going to do this. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, like, it definitely trains you for the future. And I feel like that's what you want, right? Like, it's more important, I feel like, you know, to train yourself, your mentality, to grow as a person first before to grow as an athlete. In my end, I think it helps me a lot to get there, honestly.
Yeah, no, 100%, you're spot on, right? And so, like, preseason, 2-a-days practice, all those, it builds mental toughness, right? And so, it's for me, it's huge, the mentality. And it definitely translates in life. So,
talking about it, right? What do you think? Because I feel like, you know, soccer right now is growing in the U.S., right? We got the World Cup coming in 2026. It's a big thing, right? It's a big event. The U.S., they got a good national team right now. We got Pulisic. We got a lot of good guys. I feel like they can make a lot of difference, a big difference, right? But talking with the young kids, because you work a lot with young kids, with young men, young, everything that is young. You there with them at first, right? He's the guy, right? So what do you think is the issue with coaching nowadays? Because we talk about the issue with players on our generation and your generation. What's the issue with the coaching from your generation to our generation, mostly when it comes to like young players? What do you think the coach are not doing good? What do you think is the issue with it?
I think the issue with like youth coaching in America is really focused on the financial piece.
Damn.
And that's really unfortunate, you know, because sometimes you have really talented kids who their parents may not necessarily afford the big, you know, expensive clubs, right? The big clubs, and those kids are at a disadvantage. But those kids are some of the most talented ones. I think that the main problem with coaching is the requirement is at a very minimum. You just have to take a certificate. Sometimes you don't even have to have the background in soccer, and you're here coaching really talented kids, and sometimes that drops your development massively, right? And so I think it's just a lack of not knowing the games sometimes for some of these coaches, and then they give out the information. And in turn, the kids taking that information, and because they can't, the coaches, even if a kid go to a coach, hey, what do you mean by I should check my shoulder? The coach cannot even explain what they mean, but they've heard it in the course that they took in order to be a coach, right? So deep. I think sometimes the lack of having playing experience with some of these American coaches is a problem. I think that's my biggest take that I've seen on that.
Do you feel like, you know, our generation, when I talk about us and I, or even your generation, right, growing up and, you know, growing up, getting older, do you feel like we will be a better, you know, coach for like those young kids coming up that are not even born right now? Do you feel like since we've experienced the game, we've experienced it, we've playing, and there's more college, you know, soccer player right now than it used to be like 10 years ago, right? We have the NPSL, the UPSL, the NISA that got created, USL 2. You have a lot of league coming up every year. We have a lot of MLS. We got Inter Miami, right? New teams and a lot of fundings coming into soccer, and I feel like it's gonna be way more in the future years, right?
But like you know, you saying this, I'm gonna cut you off a little bit.
Okay.
Like it's not because you're a soccer player that you're gonna be a good coach.
Right, that's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, let's just make that clear.
No, I agree with you on that.
I agree with you on that. Experience and knowledge. You know, because we see at the pro level.
You're right.
We see at the pro level, it's not because you Messi or Lampard, you're gonna come to the team, coach. You know, it doesn't work like that.
No, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. But I feel like, right, that's the best environment to get the next coach. I don't know, but I feel like that's the best. You cannot go and, you know, you work in like the factory your whole year and then your whole life, and then you come into coaching and you think you're gonna be good. I mean, you might be, but if you compare to somebody that has been in the system, that has experience as a young kid, as a player, his whole life, it will be different.
But
right?
But like I mean, Kwaku can like you can get it from here. But like Larry, if I'm in the coach with the if I'm in the team with the coach that don't know nothing about it, okay, that just told me some BS the whole time I was with him. Guess what I'm gonna learn? BS.
Right.
Doesn't matter how good I am.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be good in that system. And let's say I'm done with college 4 years now. I'm started working. Okay, I'm in my little hometown, Sartell. Youth team is there. I'm gonna coach them. But all I learned for the 4 years was BS. Guess what I'm gonna teach the kids? BS. Let's be honest.
Unless you take the good out of it.
You see what I'm saying? Unless you go join Kwaku. Unless you work with Kwaku. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me, what I like to do is I like to stay young by also being involved while I'm coaching, right?
Okay.
Some coaches, they come, they don't even
look fit.
Look fit or dress for the job.
Just dress.
So for me, I come as if I'm a player, right? And for me, I feel like players can relate. To someone like that, someone where they know they can hop in possession drills and ball out, right? And they see that, they're like, okay. So when you talk, there's two ways about communications, right? Obviously giving information and the person receiving the information. I feel like from my experience, because of that really, when I speak, it's silence. The kids can relate to it because they know I'm not just feeding anything, because I've been in that exact situation. I'm training with you. You're tired. I'm tired as well. So let's work this out together. So I think that's
no, quick. What he's saying, that's really important, and I think that's something a lot of in US like they're missing a lot.
Yeah.
Like going to back in France and the experience. Okay, one of the best coach we had was the coach that he would tell you send this long ball, if you can, he would do it.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He can do it. So like it's not just the guy that just come here, do this, that read on a book or like on the little they will tell you how they want you to. If you can, he will do that for you in practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I think Kwaku saying that, and then that when that happened once, every time he tell you something, you take that in your soul, because I have to be able to do this.
Right.
Because Kwaku can do it.
Yeah.
And even like you said, the way they dress. And then like for example, if we transfer that to our generation too, like what is it? Our culture, dressing nice, looking good is really important.
Yeah.
Getting nice haircut, people can relate to you. Those are little stuff. But think about it. All the haircut we do is the stuff that we see from pros. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like how you cut your beard, how do you dress? It's the stuff that we see. So the more people can relate to you, the more like they can understand you. And I feel like right now we're getting to the point where it doesn't even matter if you know everything you're saying. But if you want to give it to, if I want to give it information, the more you can relate to me, the more you're willing to listen.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's really important there too. So like a lot of guys gotta understand is Kwaku's literally, this is like one of the time, bro. I'm saying like he's here just dropping gems for people.
Definitely, man.
Definitely. But Kwaku, like you been in Minnesota for this long time, okay?
Yeah.
Now we have some men D1 coming, D2, team
A
like
lot of
he's
college soccer
developing.
coming up, yeah.
What do you think is like? What did you see like from like 5 years ago to that we have now? That's like kind of like okay, this is good.
Yeah.
For the soccer,
For the sport in Minnesota.
community,
Yeah. Soccer. I think actually Minnesota has always had a big soccer community. It started with the Minnesota Thunder. You guys might not know that was kind of the first
MLS.
Yeah, the first professional team.
Yeah.
Man, don't act like you know that team.
I don't know that team, but I heard about it.
Yeah.
I'm cultivated, man.
let me talk.
Look at this guy. He don't know nothing, man.
And then came around Minnesota.
Always on me, bro.
The Minnesota United, they were playing in the league. It's called NASL. NASL.
Okay.
And they were very good, actually. They won championships. And then I think the MLS coming here has been huge, right? Is giving a huge, market for the soccer community. And obviously you mentioned like the D1, St. Thomas, now D1, St. Cloud, now playing D2, and I know there's some quality D3 schools here as well. I think it's good. Because in the past, what you were seeing, a lot of the talented kids were going out of state, right? But now they have an option, and I know St. Thomas is an up and coming school, and I know it will be a top D1 school, and where they will attract some of the top homegrown kids, and that will really help the development, right? Again, the Minnesota United, the academy, I work with a lot of the kids in the academy. Instead of going perhaps to Kansas City or somewhere else to join their academy. Now they have one right here at home where, you know, they can be here, their friends and family can come to the game and show support. And for me, I feel like that's huge for their development as well. So
that's awesome.
yeah, man, soccer is growing. I'm very, very excited for it. If you're a young and up and coming player, you should be really excited about growth. Of soccer growth, not just in Minnesota, but in the United States as well. You mentioned the World Cup. I think that's going to be huge for this country and for this
like you know, like
new
quick,
generation.
like I mean, I'm just guessing stuff, okay? But I think once the World Cup come to US, it's gonna take a whole nother level. Like you said, like we see, like sport is based a lot on the financial part, right? But once the soccer gonna come here and they're actually gonna see how much money they can make from this sport. It's gonna take you a whole nother level. Timers, if you reach this part of the video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Make sure you guys subscribe and you guys check the other episode that we post to stick up to the end of the video.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so many sports here in America, right? Basketball, baseball, football, that soccer don't always get the top talents in each sport. Imagine LeBron James growing up and soccer was the #1 sport, right? Or Kevin Durant or Steph Curry, like some of these big athletes. So I think soccer is going to get to that level at some point of football and basketball, and you're going to get some of the top talents in U.S. in general really, you know, moving towards the soccer route. And I always tell people, you know, soccer is, you could choose a very good athlete and plug them in football and they could do well, right? Or track and field or basketball. But you cannot take that same athlete, bring them to soccer and then they'll go crazy, right? It's because you actually need a skill. And so that's why we talked about coaching. Coaching and development is huge, and I think with the World Cup coming here, it's going to draw a lot of interest for the young and up and coming generation.
So like, you know, you just talk about like the skills, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if I'm a young kid right now, I'm not getting the fundamental skills from whatever hometown I am, you know. The coach is not really giving me that. How can I work that? Like, is it part? Do you think for a kid right now, if you want to have those skills or those fundamentals, you have to be in the structure, or you can just do that on your own?
Yeah, I think you have to be in a soccer environment. It's very, very important. You hear stories of some of these pros. I think maybe even Pulisic, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the U.S. players, where their parents were driving, you know, like hours just to bring them to practice, like at a nearby state, because that was the right development for them. So we mentioned you cannot cheat the game. As a young player could only develop so much if they have individual training. At some point, you have to be in an environment. And it's not just the playing the soccer part. It's mental toughness. You develop these things, right? How to be a teammate, right? How to be selfless, how to be a team player. I think all those things you need to develop. You can't just do it individually. And that will come down to the parents. I think at some point, the parents have to see your potential. And that's what I love about American parents. Is they're really supportive of their kids, and so I think that's huge in any kid's development, for the parents to see their kids' potential and really put in the time and hope that it will pay off one day.
Yeah. No, like Kwaku, that's like something like very important you saying that. But so in the kid situation, you gotta be an instructor. You have to be in the structure, like even help. But like, what about if the structure is not really beneficial to you? But it's still important for you to be there, even though you're gonna do more on your own. But it's still important to be in the.
You mentioned small towns, so I guess it depends on your location, right?
Location.
I think that plays a huge role, but again, the soccer piece is very important. But for me, at the youth level, yes, you know, the technical work and those things are important, right? Don't get me wrong. But as I also mentioned, it's also important because sometimes you have great players. I've worked with kids, great talent, but they're terrible teammates. They're not good teammates at all. Mentally, when things get tough, they fold, they hide, because they haven't been in an environment where they're challenged, right? They've only been in an environment where they're the best player, where their parents are telling them, good job, you great job, you did that great, and they're not being challenged mentally by anybody else. So I think yeah, at the youth level, yes, it's good. But at some point, if you want to take your game to the next level, I think it is very important.
You're saying like at some point, right? Like, for example, if there is somebody, I don't know, let's say Sartell. Okay, Sartell is a small town in Minnesota.
Yeah.
People don't know. So let's say someone is playing there, right? Enter like U13, 14. Let's say U15 is like, okay, I'm coming to the Twin Star in the cities.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say in Sartell, I'm playing Sartell and I'm a U15. Okay, I'm a big kid, by the way. You know, I'm in the U15. I'm the best team in the team. I'm the best player in the team.
Yeah.
If you transfer and you come to the Twin Stars, everybody was the best player, whatever they're from.
Yeah.
Now you're just one of those kids.
Yeah.
Do you think but not even do you think, most of the time, like that can destroy a player?
Yeah,
You know?
the confidence,
So
yeah.
do you think like when you say at some point, what is the point? Should you come earlier when you're young so you can get used to that?
Right.
Or you come grown, you already think that you that guy
Yeah.
and he come there and he hate you.
Yeah, well, you have to realize, I mean, 16-year-olds are playing pro, right?
Right.
You have 16-year-olds
Right.
playing at the highest level.
Hey, he killed my point. No point anymore.
Yeah, so for me, I think anywhere from that 13, like U13 going, you have to be, it's very important to be in an environment where you start thinking like a pro, right? So start thinking about your diet. You can't just eat anything now, right? Recovery, stretching and all of that. And so for me, I think once you start at that age, and if you have potential, you could potentially sign at the age of 15, and you're going in an environment with grown men, right? People who got mortgage to pay, right? So you can't say, you can't go in and say, well, I'm 16, take it easy on me.
Take it easy on me. No, I mean,
no.
yep.
So I think it's good to develop that mentality as early as you can. You see Cristiano Ronaldo, and you see on social media how he treats his son, right?
Yeah. Serious with him.
Serious. I saw something where he doesn't even let him eat,
drink sodas and
drink
stuff.
soda.
Yeah.
And he's a kid. Every kid loves soda, but that mentality, he's starting right away. And I guarantee he's already got it in his head.
And then that's actually good that you brought it, because at the same time, Ronaldo understanding that he's a kid, right? So you can go as hard as you want, but at the end of the day, he's still a kid.
Yeah.
But it's important to build it, to start it.
Yes.
It's important to start it so he can pick up later, right? And then be
100%.
serious.
Yeah.
So I see you got a Minnesota Twin Stars shirt on you
Yeah.
right now. So I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
Talk more about them or what?
Yeah, no, the Twin Stars have been around for a while. Actually, this is my first year actually being involved with the Twin Star, because a lot of the kids that I play with and help train are on the team. But Coach Yusuf and Kareem, they've been part of the Twin Stars forever. Coach Yusuf specifically, and a lot of talented players have kind of gone through that Twin Star program. So I think last year they took a break. I'm not sure the reason behind it, but coming back this year, kind of rebranded. And competing, man, it's a tough conference.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a tough conference.
Yep.
But, Coach, they got some good head behind the scenes with Coach Yusuf, and again, it's a young team. So again, my job is just to mentor and to help these kids realize that nothing is going to be given to you.
Right,
You have to earn everything. You have to suffer for everything. So I'm excited to be part of the group, and I think it's a good avenue for kids who wants to stay fit for the summer. It's a good level to play at, and you definitely challenge yourself.
So like talking like in the Twin Stars, like you guys probably have a good quality player.
Yeah.
Most of them from college, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is like one of the biggest
From the
like,
academy too.
problem? Like like when they come from college, everybody's coming from the college. They're the men. Now they all come together.
Yeah.
When you look at them, like is it like ego problem, or is just like
Yeah.
because sometimes he plays, I'm D1,
Yeah.
I'm D1 too.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you do this year? Like those kind of things. Like how do you guys as a coach staff and as a player too?
Yeah.
How do you manage them to like whatever you did before you get here doesn't matter anymore. Now we're starting from scratch.
Yeah. You mentioned the ego. That's a big part of it. For me, I think it's always more difficult to manage quality players. Sometimes when a coach, like in the world of football, like Pochettino, you go to PSG and you think, well, how can you lose? You have Messi, Mbappe, Neymar.
Right.
But it's very difficult to manage big personalities.
It is.
So, a lot of these kids come in, they've always been the best player, wherever they've been at the youth level, they're the top guy in college, whether it's D1, D2. So they come and they expect to be handed a position, right? To be handed a spot, because that's all for the most part that they've experienced. But yeah, it doesn't work like that because then you have certain players who may not even have played college ball at all, but they're serious players. They're ballers. They may not have the resume,
but they're up there.
Ballers,
they're
man.
Up there,
So you come, you have to compete, and some kids cannot hang. They end up quitting. They say, you know what, this is not for me. They'll take the easier route where, they don't have to earn their spot, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think the ego thing is it plays a role, but it's also important to manage players and know certain personalities in the team, right? Certain players, you just cannot talk to them anyhow because you bring down their confidence. Certain players, you have to put them aside, be more calm in your conversation. So all that it's a short season, a lot of games, compact. So there's going to be game times for a lot of people. Injuries happen, unfortunately. So it's just about being patient and waiting for your turn. And even if it's 10, 15 minutes you get, going in and showing the coach that, you can change the game.
They're here, sorry I'm cutting you. Quickly talking about there is a player, that don't play college, but big ballers. I always say, when I got in U.S., some people, amaze me, how it's, there's ballers in U.S. I don't know if you remember when we went to the summer with Momo, BC.
Yeah.
Man, I was in high school, that was my first couple months. I was born in high school, which is the guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I bet, easy. I went with them. I'm like, these men are old. I'm gonna be the man there.
Yeah.
Man, we went there, man. That tournament humbled me quick.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
I was seeing him, Aliu, Mo. I'm like, bro, these guys are old. How can they? I was like, yo, how can they be playing like this?
Yeah.
And we play against other old men, grown men, some people from New York, those team ballers. I was like, yo.
You play. You can't. You probably don't have the fitness or the physicality. But you still have. The sport knowledge. As you play, you can read the game way.
Yeah.
I play people, they know what I was gonna do. They can't run with me. They can't keep up. They can't do nothing. But they knew what I was gonna do.
Exactly.
So that's the thing, right? It's important to read the game ahead, right? It's the rule of thumb. So
Kwaku, we talk about youth soccer. We talk about summer league. But what do you think about college soccer in US?
Yeah, for me, college soccer is back when I played. I think it has developed for the most part, but I think it could be political. It could be very political because certain coaches they recruit certain type of players, and if you don't do your research, you commit to a college where you're a great player, but you're not the style of player that the coach need. Overall, I think for me, you hear D1, D1, D1. Don't get me wrong. D1 soccer, that's the highest level they see here.
Right.
But I told you I play NAIA, even JUCO, and some of the players there I know for sure can play D1. But because of eligibility, they drop to that level. So sometimes I think kids can buy into the whole D1 thing and think maybe that's the best way or that's the best route to make it. And sometimes they forget to take the best option, right? So I've had kids who were like a D1 school will offer them, let's say, minimum scholarship, athletic, but because it's D1, they'll rather take out financial aid and go there instead of taking the D2 offer or NAI offer. That is dang near full ride.
Better package.
Yeah. And so I think sometimes that can really, it goes back to the whole social media. If you say you're a D1 player, I feel like automatically people see that like, okay, he must be a baller. But throughout my time, I've played with some D1 players, and it's not always as sweet as it looks, man.
Kwaku, I definitely see you in that because even the JUCO I went to at first, I was talking to him because I remember we were talking to a couple D1 school, and I didn't know those schools. He's the one that put me on the school, and at one point he's just like, okay, listen, this school looks saying nice, go to JUCO, focus on your school, ball, and then come back later, But like they were saying like, oh, we can give you a 70%.
Yeah.
Kwaku told me like, just don't pay attention to it. I was like, at first I was like, maybe I want to go G1 because I see Logan G1, Mark John G1. I see everybody around me. I'm like, but I was like, okay, because my Momo too told me, he's like, step back and listen to that guy. I was like, okay, I have one advantage on this guy. You know, they all say they don't have nobody that went there. I'm like, I have somebody here that experience it. And by talking like he play with player that can play G1. The best player I played with my whole life, he was in JUCO.
You see,
he played pro in Italy.
Yeah,
but he signed pro, but he never played official game because of his like body. He's not strong. So he came to US, beast.
Yeah,
you know, like I was like, how come nobody hired him to go G1?
Yeah,
you know, why JUCO? And he was just like telling me, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But crazy player. And even when we went to national, all the G1 coach, who are you? Where are you from? No. I'm like, nah, you know, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, but no, Kwaku, like that's just a good story. You just like talk about like. I feel like there's a lot of talent, but sometimes it's just like coaches. I don't know if the issue is them not looking for the right talent, or the talent just be out there and then they just can't get it, or it's more political, as you say. But there's definitely an issue behind it.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is as I mentioned, because of the clubs here, a lot of coaches, they don't even recruit from high school anymore. They look at like the academies and the clubs because they see that as these are all the best kids. So if I'm looking for a top player, this is where I need to look at. And unfortunately, like I said, some of the kids, top talent who cannot afford to be in these academies, who may just be playing high school soccer, they will not get the same look, right?
Right.
And sometimes they may not be seen that way. But what sometimes players have to realize is coaches are not just going to come and find you unless you're like a top talent in the state where, you're putting up crazy numbers. Sometimes you have to take the initiative to reach out to coaches, with your video highlight, with your resume. I was watching Logan's episode, and that's kind of how he got his opportunity, right? Reaching out. And sometimes I feel like the new generation, they like to sit back and I'm too good. If a coach will come for me because I'm that good.
But you know what's crazy too? Like Logan was playing the travel team.
Really?
Even with playing with all the travel team, he did not get as like like sometimes we tend to think that if you play like I don't know in a random travel team, you're gonna get offered.
Yeah.
No, you got to be in the right team that have the right connection. You know what I'm saying? But like Logan was playing with Fusion in the cities. Okay. Even with playing with Fusion, he didn't get as many offers that he was thinking. Or like you assume that you're playing here, you should get an offer. No, he sent 100 email.
Yeah.
He might like 10 respond.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, that goes to my point. So even playing traveling club, it's not always guaranteed, right?
Right.
And so, sometimes you have to take the initiative and reach out, and that's how you're gonna get your breakthrough.
Yeah, man, that's true. Hey, Kwaku, man, we really grateful to have you on the podcast, man. We had to do this, and even if you guys want part 2, you guys gotta shoot in the comment, say part 2, like the video,
and make
like the podcast, man.
But here, before we finish, I have one question for Kwaku. Do you think college coaches like emphasize the development of the player, like spend time actually developing a player? Like for example, like you as a coach, if we coach me, you're gonna come. Like I remember Kwaku came watch me, we sit down. When you watch a game after, he's like, okay, Us, you gotta work on this, you gotta work on this, you gotta work your fitness. Point by point. Do you think college coaches, like if you were my coach, you knew that we're gonna spend more time on those things. You know what I'm saying? Do you think college coaches spend time on individually player development?
No, probably not. For me, it's a business for them. It's their livelihood, right? So it's just about results. They don't care how they get it. If they could win 10, 11 games a year, but, a coach doesn't develop, I don't think they care so much, because at the end of the day, that's more money in their pocket.
Right, right.
So, and obviously college, because, you may have a team, but the coach is already thinking about the next class of 2023, class of 2024. So the focus is not even always on the current team. So, I agree with you. Sometimes, most times, I would say you don't get that development piece, and that's why it's very important to be in a program where because likely you're not going to get that because the coach is worried about so much things. That's why any team I've gone to, I always develop relationship with my teammates to put in work outside of training as well, to get a group who we're all passionate about the game and we want to improve. And sometimes you have to take that ownership and really do it yourself because the coaches, maybe assistant, maybe, but for them, they have so much things going on, worrying about kids who's passing their classes.
No.
Sometimes it's not even about the football part. Yeah, I think there's not always that development in the college.
I saw that because playing in France, like in the soccer academy and stuff, and coming here and in college, I was like, there is something that's wrong. But like the conclusion that I kind of came up with, like in the academy, they have to provide players for the pro level. They have to. Coach, college really don't have to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So it's two different like point of view. Because college, like the academy back there, they have to provide. And the more player you provide, your reputation, the more money.
Yeah.
But since here, the coach don't have to worry about it. Like you said, they just recruit, you come, make sure you sleep, you eat, you pass your class. I'm already thinking about the next one. You see what I'm saying?
No, he said it.
And then like the mistake a lot of people make too, like for example, I see a lot of my friends in high school, some of them went to college, and thought I would get here. The coach would take me from point A to point B. You know what I'm saying? So they would come to practice, do the bare minimum and stuff. At first, that was me even in college. But I met some other people, playing for Barbados national team. The pro dude that played for Italy, he literally told me, you have to put your own work in it. Otherwise, because even in the academy, you still have to do those extra stuff. And then here you have to do even more. So, like, all the guys there, like you said, coaches really don't pay attention to those things. And I think that's why, too, like the summer league, they really, like, there is a lot of college players coming to summer league because that's their way to, like, people like you to, like, make sure we improve that little things before you go back.
Yeah, definitely. And the hope is that after they leave for the summer, they'll take that same mentality, to their college team and be a leader amongst their peers, right? Because you can go and lose it and come right back the next summer to try and develop it again. So, for any young player, you can't cheat the game. You cannot cheat the game, right? You cannot take summers off. You have to train because, like you said, the game will expose you. I don't care how talented you are. And, that's the best advice I can give for any young player. You don't need talent to work hard. That's the very minimum. And one thing is you never know who's watching. I know a kid who, that's how they got their opportunity, playing pickup, not knowing throughout the pickup. One of the guys playing the pickup was a professional coach. And he took it serious, playing, usually pickup or, doing flags, you're not really putting. But that's how he got out after the coach got in contact with him, and that's how he got the opportunity. One of my teammates currently, not teammates, but former teammates playing with Pittsburgh Riverhound in the USL, that's how he got his opportunity. So that's the best advice I can give any young kid. No matter where you play, take it serious. And put in the work because you just never know who's watching and where your opportunity is going to come from. So.
Yeah, listen to Kwaku. That was
I can see here, listen to this the whole day.
That was a nice speech, man. He just went crazy on this one, man. You guys know how to find us, man. Make sure you guys check up the old episode, man. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we're dropping a new episode every
Wednesday, man.
Make sure you guys check up with the content. Kwaku, what you got to say for the young kid out there and anybody that ball?
Where can they find you? If they have any questions,
where can they find you, man? Where can they find you, man?
Yeah, I'm not hard to find. I think if you're based in Minnesota,
just say Kwaku. Last time cops stopped me, I said Kwaku. He's like, you fine.
Oh man, yeah, I'm not hard to find. One thing is I always try to make myself available for anybody who wants to train, and I love to recommend players to my friends who are now coaches or former pro players to recommend them to the agents. But for me, just because I know you doesn't mean I'm just going to recommend you. Right. For me, I have to see that you're serious about your game because that's my reputation, right? Because a coach knows, okay, if Kwaku recommend you, you must be a serious player.
You have your reputation to hold on that too.
And you have a good head on your shoulders. So, it's very important. The best advice that I can add is, soccer, If you're passionate about the game, that's great. Work hard, be a good teammate. But for me, soccer is just a game. Like I said, it translates in life. The most important thing when it's all said and done, for me, wherever I go, I say, I don't care if you see me as a great soccer player or as a great athlete. For me, I want you to see me as a great human being. That's the number one thing. Because even if you play soccer, let's say 20 years, you still have the rest of your life to live, right? So it's very important for me. How do you treat people, right? When nobody's watching, how, you see a trash on the ground, can you pick that up and throw it away? It's the little things. It's the little things for me. I'm big on that. So soccer is great. It's a game, but most importantly, how do you treat people, right? Treat people with respect. And no matter, I've been on teams where certain kids are not the best players, and you can see they're kind of, they don't feel included in the team, right? Because all the starters usually are together and talking about the games, and certain players, they don't feel like they're getting the same attention. And if you see a teammate like that, if you're a young player, you see a teammate like that, get close to them and include them and make them feel like they're part of the team. And you don't know what that would do for their confidence. So yeah, that's the best advice I can give.
Man, hey, you guys heard what Kwaku said, man. As far as us, OBT,
only big time, man.
Let's get it.